Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. This week is a very exciting vlog, at least for me. I hope you will enjoy it too, because tomorrow morning I'm heading up to the Peak District, one of the national parks in the UK. It's one of my favourite places to go, and yet I've only been there twice that I can remember in my life, but it is gorgeous. And while I'm up in the Peak District, I will be running a 50-kilometre ultramarathon with Ultra X. Ultra X were the guys who hosted my month of miles last month, where I completed 125 kilometres in the month of August. I actually ended up completing 160, which I was really happy with. To give you some indication as to how hard this race will be, it is 50 kilometres up and down a couple of peaks in the Peak District, with a total elevation gain of around 2,000 metres. And to compare that to what I did in August during my month of miles, I completed around 2,900 metres of elevation gain, just under 3,000 or so. So it's about 2/3 of what I completed in a month where I was trying to get as much elevation gain as I could. So that's pretty intense, but I'm so excited to be doing this, and I have to say I really missed these sorts of challenges over lockdown. Of course, all our races were cancelled. I'm really happy that this one's still going on. Thankfully, it's going to be spread out, so no one's going to be setting off on the run at the same time, so it's going to be pretty spread out, and as you go over 50 kilometres, obviously people will spread out naturally, so I feel pretty safe. We're heading up tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is Thursday, and we're staying in a B&B. I'm actually staying with my dad and his girlfriend for a couple of nights before camping with the rest of the guys who are doing 125 kilometres over 2 days rather than just the one day like I'm doing. Camping with them on the Saturday night and then setting off on Sunday morning at 10 AM. I said yes to this challenge around 3 weeks ago. I was actually asked a couple of months ago, but I didn't know if I was going to be in London. There was a good chance that I was going to be down in Dorset or even in Bristol in our new house if that had gone through, so I didn't really know if I was going to be able to do this, so I actually didn't say yes to it until about 3 weeks ago. That does make me possibly the least prepared person who has ever done a 50-kilometre race. I'm excited regardless. I'm doing this because it's going to be a bit of fun, and I absolutely love the views in the Peak District, and I really enjoy the camaraderie that these sorts of races brings as well, so that's kind of the main reason that I'm doing it. I'm putting no pressure on myself to finish it, although of course I would love to do so, simply because I don't think it is worth me getting to the end if it means I didn't enjoy it, since the only reason I'm doing it is because I enjoy this kind of thing. I'm just going to try and get to the end, enjoy the views, have a lovely chat to some of the people who I know who are doing it, of course vlog the whole thing for you guys, which will be interesting. We're hoping for good weather. It's looking like it's going to be really beautiful, and I don't know if you can tell, I'm probably glowing at the moment, and it's not because I'm just lovely and glowy, it's because I'm absolutely sweating because it is so hot at the moment. But of course up in the Peak Districts it's going to be a little bit cooler than it is here in London, likely around 16 degrees and sunny, cloudy, so absolutely perfect weather for running, and that will make the photos excellent as well, and that's obviously why we do all these things. So I'm just packing at the moment. I have got everything on my bed, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to bring. This may look like a total mess, and quite frankly it is, because I'm packing out of boxes. So of course I moved from my flat a week ago, and so everything I'm packing is coming out of boxes and suitcases and going into more boxes and more suitcases. So up front here I've got some of the clothes I will be wearing for the days before the race. Sports bras, shorts and leggings, and mid layers, base layers, like that kind of stuff. I'm not expecting it to be cold. It's so much colder than it was in London, and I have not packed well at all. But these are always useful to have for the evenings. And then up top right here I've got all the stuff that I'm going to need for camping, which happens to be more than I'm going to need for the several days beforehand. So starting from right to left, I've got my 7 or 8 litres Columbia running rucksack, and I've stuck in a bladder into there as well, so I'll have 2 litres of hydration as I go around the race. Columbia trail running shoes. As you guys might have noticed, my previous ones ripped on one of my runs in Dorset. I had them for about a year and a half, and they were pretty heavily used. So these are my new Montrails, and the great thing about these is that you can just race them out of the box. The first time I got these shoes was literally for a race, and then I wore them for the first time during that race, and I did not suffer a single blister. So I pretty much rate these as some of my favourite shoes. Not sure about this colourway, but it actually kind of matches a lot of my other stuff, so I guess that's okay. At the back we have short sleeve base layer. This one I won for my first ever trail race. I actually weirdly came first, and they gave me this X Bionic base layer, and I kind of hate the colours, but it is one of my favourite things to run in because it's immensely comfortable and keeps you warm when you're cold. and cool when you are warm. So that's brilliant. And then obviously Sweaty Betty high impact sports bra, my Fabletics shorts, which I love, Columbia hat in case it's sunny, long Falca socks, some Oakley sunglasses. These are my Spy Kids ninja sunglasses that I wore in the Azores, as you can see there. They're incredible. I do look quite funny in them, but they are incredibly good. And then I've got my sleeping bag, sleeping mat, and my taped seams running jacket, also from Columbia. I think they're incredible. They don't let any water in at all, and obviously I'll bring a lighter one as well for drizzle. And then I've got food over here. So for food, I'm bringing Huel, and this will be for camping the night before, and these are nutritionally complete food, tomato and herb, and then I've got a Thai green curry up at the top there. I've never had these before, so I will be trying them out before I race, of course, because I don't want anything to upset the stomach. They only take 5 minutes to make as well, which is a godsend, because a lot of these food, like I've got these in here, for example, chili non carne fire pot. These are amazing, but they take 15 minutes to make, and 15 minutes might not seem like a lot, but when you've run a long way, 15 minutes is 15 minutes too long. And then of course I've got snacks for the route around, and I will have some homemade flapjacks and cake as well. But I've got protein bars. I have got lucho dietos. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but these are basically sugar, coffee and guava. It's got a biodegradable wrapping as well. So each of these is 120 calories of basically pure sugar, and the wrapping means that if you drop it on the side of the trail, then it just biodegrades. So that's a really good thing. Gels obviously often have plastic wrappings, which means that they don't biodegrade and that they are bad for the environment. So I'm giving these guys a go. I really like the taste of them as well. I kind of rate that. I want more things to be this kind of sustainable. So bring in those, and then what else? Pretzels, of course. Probably not the best for running. And then electrolyte drink as well. Just pop this in your water, and they provide electrolytes, which is vital for when you're running long distances. You don't want to just be having water without electrolytes, for sure. So I think that's it for now. I'm still packing, and we leave tomorrow, so better get going. Before my race on Sunday, and I'm just out already up in the peaks stretching my legs. We're going for a bit of a walk today, explore the local area. We'll see one of the ridges that we'll be running along near Mamtor. I'm feeling pretty good. Definitely I'm on the verge of a cold, so I'm hoping that that won't come to pass before I'm actually racing, but it's so nice to be up here and really nice to be out. The air is so fresh. And I'm here with my dad and his girlfriend Charlotte. We're just hiking up at the moment. We're about 2 kilometers in. It's so much colder than it was in London, and I have not packed well at all. There's something, if I know I'm doing something by myself, I always pack really well because I know that I've got no one to rely on. But obviously coming up here with my dad, I was like, well, you know, he always has a spare jacket, so if it's cold I can just borrow one of his, which is exactly what I'm doing. I hope I've packed enough because at night it is cold, and obviously I will be camping tomorrow night. We're waking up relatively early on the Sunday to eat breakfast, so if it is cold I will need to wrap up warm. Anyway, that's just going to show you a little bit around here, but save most of the vlogging for the day itself. Hi sheepies! A campsite, and I have some little helpers to help me put up the tent. It's very windy, but it's a gorgeous evening, as you guys can see, but as soon as the sun goes, it is going to be cold. Let's get this tent up. Hi everyone, I'm at the campsite all set up. Put up the tent, put my bedding out, made sure that I've got everything that I need for both tonight and obviously tomorrow morning. When it gets dark, it's kind of harder to find things, so while I do have a head torch, I'm gonna try and save the battery for tomorrow in case something goes horribly wrong, which is not unlikely. If anything can go wrong in these events, then it will. Got to be prepared for everything. I have got here, this is my little setup. Cute, isn't it? So this is a 2-man tent. I'm very privileged to have it all by myself. I've got a sleeping mat there, blows up by itself. I brought a duvet because I'm bougie like that. I would not usually do something like this. Never usually have a duvet. This is a -4 sleeping bag, so I'm not gonna get cold in this. But in terms of comfort, duvets really are the bomb, and since we were getting the car up here, I just figured, why not? You can just chuck it in really easily, as well as a pillow. Usually I'd use the case for this, stuff it with with coats and stuff and then use that as a pillow. But I have a whole real pillow, so should be nice. Got my race pack there with everything I needed it for tomorrow, so that when I actually need to get up and go, I can get up and go. Charging ports, all that kind of stuff. Obviously we'll have to keep my phone charged tonight so that it starts on 100% tomorrow. 2 bottles of water, loo paper, very useful when camping, some lip salve, my shoes for tomorrow, and then everything else is in there. And basically that is it. This is my living situation. Oh, and my dinner for tonight. This is cutlery and fire pot chili non carne, extra large serving. That is what we like to see. It's the morning of the big day, and it is just gone 7. As you can tell, people have been up for a while. There's some music pumping in the background. I'm about to go and get my breakfast, and it is absolutely freezing. It was so cold last night. I'm so happy I had the duvet as well as the sleeping bag, because I mean, it can't have been colder than like 8 degrees, but in here it felt like minus something or other because it was so windy. But anyway, I slept okay. Now I'm gonna go get my breakfast and some hot coffee, and then warm up and get my foot strapped and, you know, all of that kind of stuff ready to run. Alrighty, breakfast is eating. Let's try that again, shall we? Breakfast is eaten. About an hour ago, actually. I've got another 45 minutes or so until I run, and I'm just packing up camp. Got everything. Got a little charging centipede here. This charger doesn't charge my phone, but it can charge that charger and this charger, which will both charge my phones. And I've got all my different portable ones, because running out of charge en route would be disastrous. To stick in line with the COVID restrictions, what they're doing is setting people off in waves. So you have 2 to 3 people in each wave, and they set off at like 5-minute intervals or something. So chances are you won't be anywhere near people for most of the run. We've got the routes on our phones, and obviously there are flags out on the course as well, but the flags have been known to get stolen, like happened in the Azores and actually happened yesterday as well. Some people got a little bit lost. I think as I'm running 50 kilometers, I definitely don't want to run a step further than I absolutely have to. So hoping that the route map keeps me en route, and it means that I can actually get round the course 50 kilometers and not 55 or more as is expected. But yeah, anyway, it just means that charging phones is super important, and of course I've got to charge this GoPro as well, so hence the 5 different chargers that I am charging on the floor at the moment. Other than that, I have got a lot of food stuffed away in here, and in the back here I've got a bladder with 2 liters of hydration, and then of course this basically just means that I can drink as I run rather than having the little bottles, and it's quite heavy, but it is definitely worth having all of that. And then I'm going to put some of this in on the way. These are rehydration salts basically. All my first aid stuff is in here. I've got blister plasters, head torch, whistle, compass, not that that'll be useful, foil blanket, more different types of plasters. I think that's kind of it, but that's the general vibe in there. And then loads and loads of sweets and food. Basically ultras are just eating competitions, and as someone who prides themselves on how much they can eat, I'm hoping that's going to get me round, because otherwise I'm kind of screwed. So gonna have all of that, and then my dad and Charlotte are going to meet me at various points with offerings of cake and flapjack, I think. So very excited to have that. I think that will keep me going for the whole thing, hopefully. I think that's kind of it, to be honest. I am just waiting for my set off time, and then we get going. To start with, I'm going to wear trackies over my shorts because it is bloody freezing outside. Everyone else is set off in shorts, but I don't want to get cold, and I know that once I get cold it's kind of game over for me. I'm going to wear trackies and then my windbreaker and waterproof as well, and then as soon as I heat up I can just start stripping layers and sticking them in my bag, and I'll probably drop the trackies at some point as well. Anyway, that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Just set off. Feeling a bit stiff, thanks in no small part to the cold. But there's some blue sky coming up, and just heading up kind of by myself to our first checkpoint in about 10k's time. Hi, I'm so sorry I took so long. Everyone, this is Simba. Simba did the Ultra X Tribe Run for Love.
I still feel as broken as I did on day 5.
Well, so he dropped out of yesterday, and for some reason is doing today for fun. I just like to get that in there. 50 kilometers for fun, total maniac. English coach back when I was at school and he was probably not. How weird is that? Small world of squash and crazy sports. We're about 6.5k in, done checkpoint 1. I'm overheating, but know that we've got Mamtor Peak to come and it's bloody freezing up there. We are just taking it super easy. Actually, we've been running quite fast down the hills, but the uphills will be nice and slow. Found my first energy block, which I'm gonna need because I've got a long way to go. These are intense uphills. 7.5k in, I've just been walking this whole hill behind me. I'm already pretty tired. I think I'm so much weaker after not lifting any weights properly during lockdown, so my usual hill climbing ability is a little bit compromised, but the sun has come out. The route goes up there. That's Mamtor, that's the first peak. And it's all the way along the ridge. Peak number 1. Done. Whew. Thanks. Oh my god, not bad views. Just happy not to be going bloody uphill anymore. My legs are already tired and I've only done like 8.5k. But look, flat and downhill for a little bit and then uphill again. Done Mamtor, 11k in or so, 11.5 or something. Found some red flags finally. Quad's still feeling good, which is a good sign. Finally some downhill. Oh wow. Not bad views, even from here. If you think this is something that you'd like to do, go and watch my intro to trail running vlog. It has a lot of information on how to get into it, what sort of races you can enter and how to find them and all that kind of stuff. Honestly, it's one of my favourite things. And I'll probably not be saying that near the end, but I promise you it is. I really love it. This is a nice bit of downhill, but the downhills I like doing single leg squats for like an hour and a half or something, so it's pretty intense. You've got to be strong to do it, hence why I'm constantly shouting on about strength and conditioning, which needless to say I've not been doing. 16 kilometers in, hopefully arriving at a checkpoint soon because I'm out of water and need a bit of a break. As expected, I have been running the last 10k by myself. And I would have gone the wrong way. I had a very helpful subscriber to my YouTube channel not pointed me in the right direction because people have been taking the flag markers. I've seen one flag marker in like the last 3k or 2k and they're supposed to be every 40 yards, so anyway, still going okay. Been running a lot recently because it's flat and downhill. And I have a big uphill soon. Oh, I see checkpoint 2, that's good. See my dad around the course, which is nice. Yeah, I reckon it's gonna become very uphill soon, which is fine. Just need to walk it. Checkpoint 2. Guys, check those views. Bloody hell. Hi sheepies. I am extremely tired. We are nearly 20 kilometers in, so I've got to do that again and then half again. This kind of terrain is insane. I've already rolled my ankle twice. We're at 23k. I've been out for 3 hours so far. It's really nice and warm actually, but the wind is so cold that every time I get to a bit exposed, I absolutely freeze. Anyway, feeling fresh. It's definitely a lie, I don't feel fresh at all, but I've seen some people, had a chat to some people, which is nice. There's no way I could do all of this alone, for sure. So I'm gonna see if I can latch onto some people and do a bit with them. It's just less effort that way, I think. My arm is tired from holding my GoPro, so I'm gonna put it down now. My buttocks are extremely sore. Apparently I'm not used to hills at all. It's all been a lie. But honestly, it looks like Scotland. Absolutely stunning. And look at the runners. Hopefully I can catch up to them and then walk around with them for support, moral and physical probably. I actually can't get over how beautiful this place is. It's literally the only thing getting me through, I reckon, is the good views and good company. Not that I have any company right now. This is tough. This is very, very, very tough. I'm 29 kilometers in, which means only a half marathon to go. My legs can really feel it, but these little straights, I'm just trying to do a little shuffle down. It's actually easier for some bits because it's so rocky. So if you try and walk, you actually end up slipping. My joints are not enjoying it. At 30.5 kilometers, I'm officially on my 5th ever longest runs. Not that I'm counting. With long runs, it's really funny, my heart, I gets to a point where it's just like, oh, I just feel like I've done enough beats for the day. And then it feels like it's struggling loads. It makes it sound like I'm gonna have a heart attack. I'm definitely not gonna have a heart attack. It's like, it's when my heart packs in before my legs do, which is still pretty early, to be honest, but I actually feel okay. It's just, it's blowing my mind that we still have nearly 20k to go. Like, that would be like a long run day for me. I haven't run more than like a half marathon since like January, I don't think. So while I have run like this distance before this time last year, maybe I shouldn't have signed up. But anyway, I'm having loads of fun. It's not necessarily something that I would recommend people to do off, you know, not very much training, but I still would recommend everyone do something like this at some point in their life, because it's really hard and you feel like you want to die, and then you get to the end and you're like, I did that. Or even if you don't get to the end, it's still a hell of a long run and you can still be very proud. So I still have like 6k to go, 5k to go until the next, ooh, marsh, until the next checkpoint. Oh, this is a feet wet territory. Oh, good going. And I've run out of water again. It's hot, beautifully sunny and hot, and I'm out of water. Anyway, I'm gonna put you guys away and focus on actually running this thing and hopefully finishing it. I just fell in a river, it's very refreshing. 19 kilometers to go, let's do this. 33k in. Oh my God. We had a glorious downhill bit and now a massive climb. I mean, looks like that's the top, but I actually don't think it is. But I'm gonna get some pretty good views from the top. My calves and my glutes are not happy. Getting up that was tough. Oh my God. But got some flats-ish, got some water, ish. Don't have any water in my pack still. I'm slowly going insane. But I'm very happy that it's sunny because the weather can just drain you however far you're going. And this is a long way.
Woo, woo, woo! Good job, Flora.
Checkpoint 4 done, 36 kilometers in, 1 checkpoint to go and 1 normal Sunday long run to go. Bloody hell, this is tough. Anyone who does this on the regular is actually insane. Lol. Save me. These downhills are as steep as they are in Dorset. I've never done them on such tired legs after 39 kilometers. Officially at 40 kilometers, which makes it 10k to go and also makes it my second longest run ever. Can you tell I'm happy? Hey everyone, gone past the last checkpoint, which makes this the longest I've ever run, by about 2 kilometers so far. I actually don't know our distance. I'm not going to check, because I'm near the end, and I'm going to make it, but bloody hell I'm tired. I have foot niggles, knee niggles, bum niggles, back niggles, and I'm very thirsty. But I'm still going. And we're nearly there! Woo! They came back to find me!
I haven't done enough exercise for a day.
He's run what? How far do you think you've run this weekend? 60? It's 55? Okay?
Yeah, that's
Far enough, I think.
55.
Just got like, what is it, 1.5k left? My knees are really broken. But it's not far to go. I made it. Woo! It was pretty good. I'm very happy.
Hello, baby. Hello. How's it going?
Yeah, that's
You're so adorable.
isn't it? They like to be trained.
Yeah, I think in London especially, like
You are actually ridiculously cute. Hey everyone, it is the morning after the ultramarathon. I did not film so much yesterday afternoon for obvious reasons. I'm sorry I didn't get to like show you everything that happened after the race, but needless to say, I was pretty tired. So as soon as I got back in, I got a massage from the Ultra X physio osteo team, which was a godsend and very much needed and extremely painful as well. I then had half a pizza as a snack and then had a full-on like two curries basically for dinner, which was so nice. I am so happy with how the race went. As you guys know, my goal was just to get round it if I could, but not to put too much pressure on myself if I wasn't enjoying it. Turns out I loved every single second. The first 20k or so was really tough, and I'm not really sure why that was. I think I found it a little bit harder than I was expecting to find it for so early on in the race. So I was kind of like, if I am struggling at 20 kilometers or at 15 kilometers, how the hell am I going to get to the end? When I got to about 35k, I think I got a second wind. I suddenly started feeling much more perky. There was a nice stretch of downhill as well, and it was kind of easier to stretch out. It's pretty technical terrain for the entire thing, so there wasn't very much road, and the road bits that there were actually really painful on my knees. But there was a lot of very grassy, uneven tracks, a lot of kind of sheep or cow tracks which are about this narrow, so you kind of got to do one foot in front of the other, otherwise you fall over. A lot of very rocky kind of or scree on some of the downhills, so it was actually for the most part really hard to stretch out and get any sort of pace going during the race, which meant that, you know, by each checkpoint I was really stiff from like trying not to fall over. There was this one point at 35 kilometers where I kind of got into a rhythm with another runner. Like I say, you know, these things are so difficult to do by yourself just because it's so long to be alone, and, you know, especially as it was my first one, I kind of wanted to know that I was sort of going the right pace and that I was going to get there with the help of someone else and not go wrong. It's a lot of concentration. Someone had moved the flag, so, you know, I nearly went wrong a couple of times, and if I hadn't been with someone else I would have definitely gone wrong, and doing a kilometre, even just 1 kilometre in the wrong direction, is pretty soul destroying. So, and I know this because I did exactly the same thing in the Azores. It's just really hard to concentrate on everything at once. But yeah, at 35k I had a little second wind, and then we got to 40k and then 42k where the last checkpoint was, and I was like, oh my god, I've done a marathon, I've done the furthest I've ever run. And then from that point I was kind of like, okay, well, it's just the finishing stretch, so it's not too bad, and I felt immeasurably better than I did at the end of Tokyo Marathon. It's a totally different ball game because obviously this is considerably hillier. I think Tokyo Marathon had an elevation gain of like 75 meters or something over 42 kilometers, whereas this had an elevation gain of, well, my GPS said 1,600, the official GPS said 1,900, so somewhere in between those two, which is still a huge amount of elevation. I think the variety of terrain and elevation and views and all of that during this race made it so much more enjoyable, and obviously a nice bunch of people as well, and not nearly as busy as, you know, a big marathon or whatever, which I think is more my kind of cup of tea. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Would I recommend it? Definitely, maybe with a little bit more training than I did. Would I do it again? 100%. I'd like to do one somewhere else. We were so lucky with the weather here yesterday. It is, looking outside now, it is foggy, you can't see a single thing. I think it's about 9 degrees outside, so we really lucked out with the good weather as well, which definitely made it so much more enjoyable. But I'd like to do one somewhere else as well. I'd like to do the ultra that I was supposed to be doing this year, which was Race to the Stones or Race to the Tower, can't remember which one, which is 84 kilometers over 2 days. I don't know if I'd do it over 2 days or in one, but, you know, keen to do it either way. That's kind of it. There's so much more I could say about the race, but it kind of ends up being just sort of ramblings of a crazy person after a while, so I think I'm gonna stop. When I got back last night, I was really sore. I had a bath with some bath salts and, you know, made sure to eat loads and stretch as much as I could, but, you know, there's only so much that you can do after that. This morning I felt, well, I woke up at 4 and I actually thought that I was like dead. I couldn't move in the bed. I was really sore. But then I woke up at 7:30 and I actually felt kind of fine. Like, obviously I hurt. My shoulders hurt from vlogging for you guys, so thanks very much. That's probably one of my more painful parts of my body, just from like holding the camera out here and talking to you guys. My knees hurt and I've kind of got spontaneous bruising arising throughout my body and I've got no idea what from, so that's fun. My calves are sore but not too bad. It's mainly my toes that are just like black, which is kind of gross, but it happens. So actually that's gonna heal itself, and I think generally I actually am in a much better state than I am over, you know, a shorter distance on the road, or, you know, a whole load of other races that I've done where I've actually felt incapable of walking the day afterwards. Today I'm slow and I'm very, very, very tired, but I'm not too sore, so fingers crossed I didn't do too much damage. My T-bands are fine. My random foot injury is okay. It's not painful this morning, which is great, and I'm so happy about that. So I'm very happy with how everything went, and so glad that I could take you guys along with me as well. Really, I can't say this enough. Thank you to the Ultra X team, and I really would recommend you guys signing up to something of theirs if you are struggling to find a race. Obviously, there aren't going to be any races on probably for a while, but, you know, keep it in mind for next year maybe. Thank you so much for watching this vlog. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up. Comment down below your favourite parts of it as well, and hit the subscribe button. Come and find me over on Instagram, where I'll be sharing more race photos and a little bit more of a breakdown of how the race went. And I think that is it. Thanks again for watching. Bye!